Hmm. Hmm.
Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday night. Thank God it's Tuesday. Sorry, we're a bit late. It's a very busy Halloween night in the neighborhood. We got here as fast as we could. I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Tim Strachan.
Man, I'll tell you what. I think all this stuff that's happening has proven one thing. Tuesday nights are tough when we don't have Muff.
All right, Kevin Ricca.
I was going to say, I'm glad we've only traded away one of our DeMatha guys and kept our other one, but I'm glad I probably should have gone first.
Should have gone first. Muff hasn't worked out for us at all, really.
No.
Recently,
Every Tuesday after we have Muff, it's usually fun, even when we lose. There's like a fun part of it. I just don't see a whole lot of fun. And,
Sure there is.
And it's Muffless.
It's been the funnest part of the year.
Yeah,
actually.
we have an active trade deadline. We get to play off-season GM in the regular season, which is
I was talking about the Muff stuff. Sorry.
we got plenty of Muff, all the
That's
Muff you
been
can
the
handle,
funnest part,
and courtesy of our friend Ken Harris, delivered just before the show. Let's just get started with the fun. A box of candy by decade, and
Nice.
it says on the box 1970. So we're talking about 1970s candy.
That's
And
yours, too.
So you're saying there's some for me. Nice.
T, there's so much candy.
Wrap
and
those
this
bad
is,
boys in a kerchief.
it shouldn't say 1970. It should just say T. This box is full of things that you fought to the death for in our show last week about candy, and we're gonna sprinkle it in throughout the night, and you guys get your eyes on it right away. But I mean, wax lips.
This is candy from
right
Oh,
away.
1970s.
Razzles are awesome, dude. They
Nip.
powder up, then they gum up.
Nick and Nip. There is a York in here. They've been around forever. I think that made the list last week. Pop Rocks. Hey, candy buttons. They got
my
a beating last
God.
week.
Whoppers, you got Whoppers in there?
We're gonna
No,
eat
those
some.
are delicious.
Eat some
They'll
paper.
be safe for a decade or so.
There's a Heath bar, which is an all-time
These
fave.
bars are awesome.
Hot tamales are in it. Mike and Ike's are in here.
There you go, man.
100 grand, which is a great. Now I love Lifesavers, but
I do
these are the
too.
old butter
Butterscotch?
rum.
Butter rum.
1970s butter rum Lifesavers. These might be from the 1970s. So
Get your hands off, whippersnapper.
I want those. Those
you
are
got,
mine.
you got your double bubbles. They made the list last week. You got your candy necklace.
Chewy bastards.
You got your Zots.
Thing
There's
is,
the, by the
candy
way,
necklace is actually, if it's the real true one,
That's
they're pretty good.
hysterical.
was anyone a Zagnut guy? Because it's got
No.
toasted
I don't know
coconut.
if I've ever had Zagnut.
It's the same category as almond
Have you ever
joy
had a
and,
Zagnut?
I've never, because I'm not a coconut guy.
Junior
but-
mints,
It's got coconut? Oh, I'll take it.
Turkish taffy.
that
You have
an
your
old school
unmarked
The only,
Mr.
the only
Goodbar?
Zagnut I know is the one that was in Beetlejuice. Hey,
bottle
want a
caps.
Zagnut?
Zagnut?
Yeah.
Charleston Chew. Whatchamacallit. There's a whatchamacallit
Oh,
in here.
whatchamacallit.
All right, we're going to come back to this. But
That's big time,
It's
Ken.
big time, Ken Harris. Let's see. Did anything happen
I look
today?
ridiculous. There is a costume. Okay, can I
There's
stand?
I know. Well, I mean, there's
Well,
a camera
one
ready.
one of us decided to get dressed.
Well, I got dressed at the house tonight, and what was I going to do? Get undressed?
No.
No.
It's Halloween.
No, don't undress.
We don't do the undressing part.
undressing.
But I had the
Welcome,
hat back. Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize.
Robert Cohen, Greg Martin, AGH, Rhett Donnelly, Manner speaking, Ken Harris, J Dubs, EO Anderson.
I think
Man.
Kevin should stand every time he speaks tonight.
Kevin should, well, I
I
don't
should
know.
rise. Okay.
Rise. The junior mints are very refreshing. I was doing a Seinfeld marathon today. All right, first things first. I hate to do it. It's an entirely different team on Sunday. It feels like it's almost doesn't even matter to cover them.
It changes the whole season.
Now, here's what happened.
It's a totally different
I'm going to save the
season.
We
best
gotta,
stat
we
for
gotta tie up
last.
some loose ends around here. Is that what
We're going to tie up some loose
What the
ends.
shit?
Here you go. We're going to start with the running backs this week. Brian Robinson had a better yards per carry thing going on. He ran harder. I think it was
we're
noticeable.
doing the game first.
Oh, we're doing the game first. We're going to get it out of the way.
Oh,
right.
okay. Oh,
We can go quick. Because that's
Antonio-
about as much fun as like the dude at the game that sat next to you.
Yeah.
Just ripping ass for 3 hours.
I liked the way Brian Robinson played. He needed a better week.
He was fine. It's
Yeah.
just these stats are so depressing to look at.
We're gonna not one of them's not. It's not necessarily this one
Very
either.
true. I meant
but,
the running back specifically.
That's true. That's a fact. 12 targets for Terry McLaurin. We love that. Can my mouse go over here? I don't know if it can or not. It doesn't matter. Jamison Crowder showed up with 7 catches. That was kind of huge. Jahan Dotson had a better game. In fact, his best game of the season, I think we'd all agree. 10 targets. He caught the ball on the run in spaces. Logan Thomas had a good game. I mean, the receivers had a good game, and I think that one of the main reasons why is because this guy had a great game. I mean, that's as good as you're gonna want from a quarterback every given weekend.
The one mistake.
The one mistake, but the number that jumps off, the interception is there. The 4-1, is good looking, but the 1 sack for 9 yards. I mean, that is a breath of fresh air. I mean, I know he got hit still, but for goodness sake.
No, we were way better getting rid of the ball and protecting, setting ourselves up that way.
A little bit of change on the line, too. Let's be honest. There's some new faces in there.
Well, due to injury. I mean, due to attrition. So.
I think however it gets done. I mean.
Yeah, but the game plan, we got rid of that ball. The game plan was to get rid of it quickly.
You're right.
But, dang, man. Sam Howell addresses the team as a leader the week of. If you're going to address the team, you better step out there on Sunday and back it up. At one point, he was 19 of 20.
Because at the pros, it falls on deaf ears if you don't.
Yeah, this guy wants to talk again. I mean, you're really hanging him out there, and I love that he did that. I love that he was capable of standing up and doing that, and I love that he backed it up with his play on the field. That's a big deal moving forward for us.
He is wearing the C, which has been noticeable since the beginning of the season. He hasn't. I don't think it was out of the gate he was wearing the C. What do you got, T?
We learned that, Kevin, at a young age at Maplewood when we would go through the woods and it was the guy's turn to stand up in front of the team and do that. I mean, that was a big deal back then when we were 8, 10, 12. Imagine doing it when you're a grown-ass man with other grown-ass men who are scary in and of themselves.
So in Halloween, let me just be clear while no one's looking at us. We went into the woods. It was right next to the field, and we did like a bunch. We had to address the team and get everyone fired up.
It was a team bonding thing. It was a
right.
team. Yeah, no. We had team meetings, is what it was. And the first time being a kid, standing up in front of other kids, you got to have so much confidence in yourself to do that. And I think we've all seen that, and that's what makes, I think, at least for us, I'm speaking for all three of us, felt comfortable with him being the guy.
And he's not an ego guy or a preacher or some guy that needs to hear himself talk. He's a man of very few words. So that's what I grasped there. I appreciate the shit out of it.
AGH with the comment I was going to make. I have a hard time bringing Gates back in with the way Larson played. I don't know that you lose your job. I hate losing your job for injury, but there's a stark difference on the line of scrimmage with Larson in the game from just every week prior. I don't know.
One sack versus all the other.
Well, yeah,
sacks.
That's what we showed. I mean, it's a breath of fresh air.
You lose it because of injury. If they continue to do that, you don't take them out.
Him more than anyone else. I think the guard they might move the guards around. I mean, I can't imagine they'll. But I mean, Larson's the big difference. We were 6-1-1 with him last year, and we're we're not 1-0, but we're 1 sack with him in this year. That's basically a win. I'm not going to do defensive stats. I'll just wrap up with these stats here so that we always cover our grounds. Just a great day from Sam Howell. By the way, the result of this stat line prompted Twitterers everywhere to put up the season stats of Sam Howell versus Pat Mahomes. I saw it 10,000 different places. You can't not see it if you're on social media or on the interweb. I mean, they're basically, you do player A and player B. There's not one guy you'd be like, whoa, that's obviously Mahomes. That's how close they are through the season. Obviously, our records are different. That matters more. Let's take the QB stats down and throw up team stats. There it is. Tale of, that's not the right team stats. Oh, for goodness sake. That's...
every week I wouldn't have known. This is the point of the show where I turn to you guys.
There you go.
Wait for you to tell me what the machine says.
I know it's so far away. But first downs, we were up.
Blind.
We were 7 for 12 on third down. That's a big thing every week. I thought that was good looking. The 0 for 3 on fourth down sucked. Obviously, we were 100 yards more on the day than them. We had one less drive, more passing yards, more rushing yards, more time of possession, but more penalized. 7 penalties for 79 yards. If you look for really like the difference in the game, the penalties are huge. The turnover was huge. Our turnover was huge. The 0 for 3. I don't know. I want to open it up to the board to complain about the referees. I hate complaining about referees.
Yeah, I do too.
It just sucks.
Unless it's just egregious, but not. Yeah.
Well, the stats they're coming up with ref stats now.
They're bad for both.
Against the Eagles,
mostly.
Against the Eagles, they're starting to do stats. Which is bad for the Eagles. The league shouldn't want that. The Eagles don't want that. The Eagles don't want everyone thinking they're just getting helped. And they are a very good team. Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback. He proved it. He was so hurt. It was so tough watching our guys not be able to hit him because our guy got hit. And I got the feeling if our guys hit Jalen Hurts a couple more times, I mean, he looked so gimpy at some of those at some points of the game. It didn't matter, but we didn't touch him when it mattered most.
No, we didn't. I mean, he got hit once pretty hard, and I think that hurt his knee.
Yeah, I mean, he's not 100%, and yet he's still getting away with running for first downs. He's a good quarterback. He's got a great receiver in A.J. Brown. He's got good receivers otherwise. That's how close we are to the top of our division. 2 games played down to the wire against the best team in our division. I don't. There's no moral victories. There's no good.
No,
good
because
losses.
that's 2 losses. I mean, it is 2 losses. Coming close is great, but
no wins in division.
No wins.
Again after three opportunities.
It's terrible.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Same thing. But again, that was a totally different team. It's like that team was 3-5.
It's a new beginnings.
The new team is 0-0. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy either.
Hey, Rhett, I don't know if I appreciate any of that. I'm standing up right now. This is bullshit. These are vintage, bro.
You got to turn around. You got to do the spin. I got to do this.
He did
there it is.
Bike.
There it is.
BIKE bike.
Bought the bike
found
shorts.
him.
He's going.
Did you know you could? Yeah, we're gonna get
right
front and center. We're gonna front and center.
Right there, the bike.
Other side. There it is.
Buttons, bro.
Double button.
And it's the constant adjustment with
He's
the
got the
thumbs
knee-high
around the
socks
sides.
too.
Yeah, the knee highs, the old school Adidas knee highs.
You can't.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Little leg.
There you
I
go.
think my ball fell out.
All right, you might have hurt yourself right there.
No,
Are you sure? You okay?
I'm good now. I'm
Okay.
good now.
We got a nice bucket.
We're looking
over
for a
here.
regrade there, Red. You need to regrade that shit.
I don't appreciate your D+ bullshit, Red.
NES Tecmo's in the house.
Sorry, that sounded so angry.
It's true.
We're all kind of angry. Are you angry?
I was
you
super.
angry?
I was super angry. I had this conversation yesterday. I had people ask me yesterday that I wasn't people in quotes. There was a couple people they were upset that I wasn't more angry, and I said, "Listen, let me go off the screen." I was super
About
angry
the loss?
on Sunday. That loss impacted me for sure. It ruined my day. It ruined my next day. It just sucked. I thought we were good enough to win that game. I thought we were going to win the game, and I was wrong. And I was.
It was
super,
like crushing
super angry.
it on a date with a really hot chick, and then she just left with somebody else at the end.
But you already crushed it with her. You said, according to your story.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
You were
Okay.
crushing it.
You're in the middle. So this is like a Cecilia
were like,
situation. You got
no
to
way.
wash your face.
Stop
No way this
washing
is
your
going
face.
so
You
well.
got to wash your face.
No way this is
Don't do
going
it.
so well.
Someone was taking your place.
That's right. Oh, that's right. We're the commanders. That's right.
Look to the candy. Look to the candy from the 1970s tee. It's all right there. Candy necklace. Can't lose.
Wrapped in a kerchief, just
do
sitting
it.
there waiting to
Are
be
you
placed
angry
into a
now?
pocket.
So
You'll pull
no,
them off,
I'm not
be
angry.
careful.
My anger is. I've been angry for weeks in years past at this franchise, but like you just learn over time that being angry from losing a game is not just unproductive, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help anything, and I also don't think like that they have earned the right to like really have like own my anger. We're not there yet. They're not there yet. We're not there yet. They don't get to ruin my week just quite yet.
Oh, okay.
The Thursday night game was punched to the speed bag to the nads.
Yeah.
The Giants game was an uppercut to the jaw, and Sunday was just a pair of bike shorts to the face. I guess I don't know how that works exactly, but
Ooh.
I knew
After they've been worn.
after they've been worn.
Yeah.
These are used. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get these new.
No, they stopped making those. They had the last ones came off the line quite some time ago.
I requested an assistant or line coach.
The country that those were made in no longer exists. It's like called something different. It's a different government. It's been subsumed by some neighboring country. I'll be honest about what's going on here.
I'm trying to bring these back.
Are you angry?
Know how fashion rotates. It's coming back. Don't care.
You guys aren't angry. You guys aren't angry.
Not angry.
This.
I was. It just.
I know. I'm like your facial expression right now. That's what I am.
Maybe anger is not the best word. Angry, like I'm not angry, but this whole season now just feels.
So here, you want to know, you know what? You don't want to know what's going to happen now. We're going to win the next 3 games. We're going to be like, people are going to start talking about us, and the 3 of us are going to know, and the people on the board, we're going to know the truth about our team. That we're not the Eagles, that we're not the Niners, that we're not the Chiefs. We're going to know that. But a couple, stringing a couple wins in the middle of the season is what we do best. Especially under Ron Rivera, his middle of the season record, he's freaking
that wily son of a bitch.
He's Vince Lombardi in like weeks 9 through 14,
late October to early December.
It is his wheelhouse. Him and Jack Del Rio just turn it effing on in the middle of the season, and they suck out loud at the beginning and end. But so we're gonna win some games, and
they're teasers.
Yeah, but that's
there's
the beauty.
3 shots at it, or else there's gonna be huge upsets. We have 3 chances at game winnings.
Patriots, Seahawks, and Giants are winnable.
Seahawks on the road is gonna. I'm not gonna. They're all winnable.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. But again, it's on the screen. It's in the top left-hand corner for us. I don't know at home. It depends how you're.
We were all laughing at the fact that Vegas only had us at 6 wins before the season started, and
6.5.
This is why I don't bet.
No, me neither.
Because they know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, but not all the time. But in this specific situation, they've been pretty decent. But because our mediocrity has been so average that it's hard not to escape above that.
We're going to win 7 games. I'm still convinced of that. But the crappy part for someone in this room who may have bet the over of 6.5 and may have advised people on the show to do the same. Don't worry, we're going to get 7. It's just not going to be 7 wins that matter to get us to the playoffs. So we're not getting over the top mad about losing to the Eagles on Tuesday. That was Sunday, and I was super angry, and I found myself and I hated myself for doing it. Just being like, the Eagles get all the calls, but there's 2 things. Okay. This gets us. We did the candy. We did the uniform. We did all this stuff. The stats. This was what I came to say. Okay. This is my one thing, and you guys can poke holes in it. Don't poke anything else in it, Kevin.
I've been poking holes in this thing since freaking 11:30.
Keep the poking to a minimum. Ew. The thing I believe, these are the things I believe about where we are in the season. One, I think Josh Harris is going to go out of his way to be respectful to Ron Rivera. That's why I don't think he's getting fired midseason. I think he's going to get right. He's going to ride it out. And I think Ron Rivera's earned that respect. And I think Harris is smart enough.
His respect. His loins have been slashed directly in front of him. They're lying on the floor in the parking lot.
Yes. But I'm just saying. In terms of
have fun, coach.
That's fine.
But stick around for the next couple months.
Yeah.
To me. I don't like to use the word, and I don't think it's nail in the coffin. I just think it's the fight, and it's not the last straw. It's none of those things. All it is the number one reason why things will change at the end of the season happened on 4th down. Jalen Hurts goes back to pass. He throws it up. Devontae Smith does not come down with it. 5 yards from our sidelines. Okay, so in the last 5 minutes of a game, when you have a team on the ropes, it's 4th down. And the coaches, not just the players, but the coaches, and I know this happens, people get excited and all that other stuff. The coaches are telling the world that it was not a catch. The players are going like this. The coaches are grabbing their headsets. They're going, and now everyone can see there was probably 35 to 40 people that I counted on the screen that were all signaling that it was not a catch. Philadelphia is racing to the line of scrimmage, possibly because they also have doubts that it was a catch. And yet,
Devontae gave the secret wink.
Devontae Smith, by the way, I think there should be a stat because this is something he's done in his short career. He's gotten away with catches that weren't catches. In fact, multiple times against us. It's inexcusable and unforgivable that Ron Rivera didn't throw the challenge flag in that situation. The timeout is not worth more than your entire team telling you to do it against a team you're not supposed to beat, against a place you're not supposed to be in.
He didn't see the replay.
It doesn't. It's not.
I saw it in real
I know.
time. Did you see the way he slid and the way his arm? I said right away, that's not a catch.
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah. It's not.
I don't need a replay to see if to at least challenge it.
You're 3-4, about to be 3-5 against one of the best teams in the league. That is the exact situation when you like get a WCAC referee toss. As far as you can get distance, height, all of it.
I have a question.
Please.
Can you call the timeout and then challenge and then?
Yes.
Then you lose.
But you lose 2 if you're out.
2.
But if you want to be that guy,
but if you win the challenge, do you get the timeout back?
You do.
Aren't we up at that moment? Aren't we up by 7?
Why didn't anybody talk about that?
We're up by 7 in that moment. We're up by 7. They scored the game time touchdown.
Snapping the ball, and then I mean.
But how about this?
You stop him.
It's not. Hold on now. For 1 second, let me take it back. Jalen Hurts was limping his ass off in the slowest of fashions, trying to get down the field 20 yards. The whole camera was on him. 1,000, 2. It wasn't like they sprinted on. Yes, they ran it quick, but he could barely get up and get himself gathered. And for God's sake, there you go, AGH. When I was watching this game, I too was visually impaired, and I too knew that he did not make that catch. And I was screaming, blah, 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 and they ran the play, and I knew they came back. And it's always fun to hear that everyone on the radio say, "Oh, and by the way, that we were just kidding." He actually didn't catch that, but we also didn't, and it's so bad. And then to go home and watch it and know,
yes,
right away. I mean, we saw it on the phone, got in the car, and had to hear the end result on the radio. Is what I'm telling you. And I was disgusted. I was like, "There's no way we're gonna talk about that on Tuesday." I thought right away.
You're a veteran coach. To answer your question, can you call a timeout there and get more time? If you're a veteran coach, throwing the flag is calling a timeout.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That is calling a timeout.
At the very least, stop them from snapping the ball.
Yes, it was. I mean,
because it was so awkward looking in real time.
Fourth down, man.
Up 7.
Our ball.
Yes.
It would be the best challenge of his entire career, arguably. I mean,
well, that's not a huge.
Sake.
That's not a huge.
I know.
Goal to necessarily.
I know.
Achieve.
We went down. We were up a touchdown, and we went down 2 touchdowns.
Poor us.
Around that moment, poor us. So to me, like that's you can't be a head coach in this league anymore if you make that mistake. That to me that is damning. And I hate it, but can't do that. You just can't do that. Like that. That is a classic case of throw the flag. Lose a timeout, who cares? But we literally went from being up 7 points and about to get the ball back to down 2 touchdowns.
Tell me the last time either of you two remember us in that scenario having that catch go our way and having the wherewithal to speed up and run a quick play.
I don't recall.
I don't either.
No.
And I thought about it all weekend. I was like, how come that happens to us so often? And we never do that shit to anybody else ever.
I've never really seen a team get away with it.
Are you kidding? I've seen him get away with it all the time.
How many times?
I mean, I watch all the games, but
a lot?
yes.
No.
And you know why? Because there's at least 10 to 15 quarterbacks who are smart.
Dude, the speed up stuff.
When it is clearly
Yes.
This is the name of the game. That's what I'm saying. It happens to us.
We don't
see
have
it a lot.
We don't have the offense to do it.
Do it to anybody.
We don't. We get delay of game penalties, and we have to call time. I mean, it's bad.
I feel like I watch a lot of football, and I don't see a whole lot of teams get away with it.
So, but T. Okay, there's a getting away with it success rate, but it's not always 4th down with the game on the line. Sometimes it's a 2nd or 3rd down. They're getting. I mean, also it's a situation where the other coach is like, you know what? Am I really going to throw a flag to gain 2 yards and not give him a first down in the 2nd quarter? It's not always in the 4th quarter, but it happens a lot. Teams will speed up a lot to get the field position and get it. I was trying to think of to your question about.
Forget about getting away with it. When was the last time we actually tried to accomplish something like this? Because everyone else does it relentlessly. I've never seen us utilize this ability to understand, hey, that was an average ass catch. We better get on the line. Let's go. It's practiced in this league. It's gotten people have it down to a science. We don't attempt it. I don't understand.
Which leads me to believe we don't practice it. Which leads me to believe that our quarterbacks over the last 10 years we haven't gotten there. We haven't gotten to the 4-minute.
Why is everyone else so well schooled in this art? Everyone understands how to step on the gas pedal in a questionable scenario. I don't get it.
So you said, when's the last time we were successful in running that? I can't remember. I was trying to think of when was the last coaching decision that was that egregiously bad, and I was in the stadium. My answer to that, I was in the stadium when it happened, and I'll give you guys a chance to go. It wasn't Zorn. Well, my answer wasn't Zorn. Well, Zorn going back to back, fourth down.
I was there that day.
Fake punts.
Myself.
I was
swinging gate.
Swinging gate. I was there too.
Timeout. Run it again. Swinging gate. I was like, are you kidding me?
Did we just do that again?
So here's why I love that about Jim Zorn.
That was the high school game.
I think Jim Zorn turned around and looked directly into Dan Snyder's box and double birded him at the time the play was being run. Because if you recall, that season had fallen off the rails. We had a bingo caller, calling in place to Sherm Lewis to Jason Campbell or whoever it was. I thought Joe Gibbs calling double timeouts against Buffalo was pretty rough too, but that was a tough one. That was a rule that you need to know that you don't know, and it's Joe Jackson. But again, we're talking about like memorable, terrible coaching gaffes. I mean, so all right, so
not handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, sure. Without a doubt. Yeah. That I think Pete Carroll probably kicks himself on a regular basis. I think Kyle Shanahan, by the way, up 28-3, not deciding to pass the ball on a regular constant basis and now run that clock out. That's going to haunt him for the rest of his life and probably will haunt Chase Young at his new home, which leads us right into...
Oh, wait, what?
The day that was. Our team has changed... Let's get rid of this old stat bag. That's an old team that made those stats. Let's just say, thank you for your service, 99 and 90. Two very good defensive ends in the National Football League, fully healthy individuals in contract years. They got here in different ways from different draft selections, but they are leaving on the exact same day. It all started with this trade. Commanders and Bears, a second round pick. Now, we don't have to. You guys, we already know that Chase Young was traded for a third round pick, so we can weave that into the conversation. I don't expect you guys to pretend like you don't know. Second round for Sweat from the Chicago Bears. The only thought I have is sure would be a higher draft pick if we would have beaten an 0-4 team, but whatever. Montez Sweat. It turns out, if you believe what they're saying in the hours after the trade, Montez, what was the guy we liked better? And the Chicago Bears came correct with a deal that we couldn't say no to. And I got to be honest with you, I'm loving that second round pick already.
We said it a couple weeks ago, and I think we would have said it even this week. If we had to make a choice, we would have kept Sweat. Chase was starting to make a better argument for the way he was playing that he could become that guy again, which, I know we'll get to it. I don't think we got enough for him, but I don't know. I didn't expect Sweat to go. I really didn't.
I totally did. Kev?
I said to you guys all week long, I don't want to even entertain the conversation because I was completely unaware of who could possibly be pulling the strings, who could lead the deal, who could be the guy
who was
in
charge. That
Who's
was your
the
point right
man?
away.
And it freaked me out because there really was only one answer, and man, was that answer delivered swiftly.
Josh Harris.
And there was no doubt about it. This was business. Let's trim the fat. Let's get rid of any decisions for anyone coming in that never drafted or had to coach at either of these guys. Let's rid the new regime of having to deal with that old shit, which, I've learned to appreciate over the afternoon because that's just the reality of what we are doing, of what this business is. And paving the way for us to have a guy that comes in here with a decent set, I do believe, of foundation building blocks with $90 million in salary cap space and a fresh start without having to make that choice. One, the other, neither or both. That was going to hang over somebody's head. So,
you go.
Just piggybacking on your business decision. I mean, yes, it was obvious. He said these two situations were created before we got here. Let's just get rid of it. Let's create our own situations. At least then they feel like maybe they have control and equity in the decisions that they're going to have to make from there on, as opposed to making the decision on somebody else's,
we don't want to hand it over to somebody and being like, and here's this big old pile of turds. Good luck.
Exactly. That's the only way it makes a business decision, that's how it makes sense.
So my business thoughts about it are we still have 2 market rate, which means expensive defensive tackles who are excellent in their prime defensive tackles in the middle of your defensive line. It remains our strength, remains the strong point of our entire roster.
And we're invested.
And we're invested in those guys. And we still have 5 defensive ends, which I'll get to. I actually have that to pull up here. We have 5 defensive ends. Resources must be spent on the offensive line. We've decided that is an absolute necessity, and I think everyone sees it. And therefore, you have 2 guys coming up who are both worth $20+ million a year. And the interesting thing about defensive ends is as their value pops and the salary cap pops, those 2 guys coming up as free agents at the same time, like they were going to get more than $20 million a year. They were going to get more than $20 million a year. The fact that Chicago came with a 2nd round pick was great. The issue with Chase Young and getting a 3rd for him is that if people thought he was worth more, we would have been offered more. And the absence of the will we or won't we sign him long term or tag him or like the drama that's going to be like for the next 4 or 5 months for the next regime, it will be an addition. That part is addition by subtraction for sure. But let me show you guys what we're left with, the defensive end. As we get rid of the Montez. Here we go. Here's our on the roster. Casey Toole, J.S. Dubb, Effie Abad, Andre Jones, KJ Henry. Interestingly, 2 guys we just drafted in the previous draft. Obviously, there's a 7th rounder in there. I think KJ was, a 5th?
Well, the first 3 guys were in contract years. Let's keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, we had 5 guys in contract
5
years.
left.
We started the season with 5 defensive ends on contract years. We were mid-season. We still got 5 guys, 3 of which are in contract years. So
I really love the first 2 names on that list.
Without a doubt, they can play
for the rest of this season. They didn't just handcuff us and leave us with the cupboard bare.
No.
Yes, these 2 guys were, like you said, market value type guys, but no, I love the guys we have left. I'm just worried about what we got to do with them for next year. And let's not let Ridgeway go off here. I don't want to have to overspend to bring him back. Let's everyone.
I don't think Ridgeway's getting sweat.
I don't mean Ridgeway.
You're talking about
Tuhill and James Smith Williams, our starting defensive ends right now.
Yes, 100%.
And I like both those guys. I do.
They both played extremely well when Chase wasn't even available.
I agree.
In fact, you can make the argument, we've said it, the defense played better when Chase was out with those guys filling in for a long time. Even and Sweat was out.
We understand the ceiling would be higher with Chase there as well, but yes,
you would
I know
think
what you're saying.
so. I mean, in theory.
The interesting thing is when we get off the bus, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are the first 2 off the bus. Those are the 2 guys. When you show up at someone's stadium, they come out first, and everyone goes who's going to play those guys? They're going to get all the attention.
It's going to be a long-ass day for whoever has to play those 2.
They're going to double those guys.
They have to.
They're going to scheme against those guys. And James Smith-Williams and Tuhill are going to have one-on-one matchups. And the name of the NFL game is win your one-on-one matchup. Every single spot on the field. And so they'll have an opportunity every single week from here on out to win one-on-one matchups because they're going to get them. And you know what? We'll also learn something about Andre Jones and KJ Henry. Maybe people feel like they already know about those guys. But we're going to learn about it.
I thought there's a whole lot of upside to KJ Henry.
We'll see.
People who were huge Clemson fans have been talking to me saying, when is he and why isn't he? And we'll find out now.
Well, he did have a handful of dudes logjam, but there's a reason why we drafted him. And I think we all knew there was going to have to be some decisions made with these first 2. None of us thought it'd be both of them within a matter of hours. Because I was like, oh, they're saying once they said it was going to happen, I was like, listen. Homeboy just traded, what's his name, off the Philadelphia 76ers. That James Harden. Harden went last night. This dude, he's in a trading type of mood.
I love it.
And he wasn't afraid to allocate dollars from his franchise off in football and basketball in the last 24 hours. And I get it. That's what we have to start. He feels that's how we have to start. And it's not a start over. It's not a rebuild from scratch. All it is it's a bit of a redo with an issue we had at the end position.
I want there to be a string. Remember the old string?
It was a red
string. Yes. I don't see it. There's a little cut here.
It was green.
Could have been green on the Lifesaver pack of variety pack, But I think the butter rum was red because I
what's the
remember
butter rum? And then you got to do it the old school way, so your fingers don't touch, COVID style. Would you like one?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to a butter rum lifesaver.
There you go. I learned from my grandfather, Victor T. Fort Wengler, how to distribute lifesavers sanitarily.
Thanks,
sir. Thank you, Ken Harris. It felt like it was a butter rum moment. At the end of the day,
That's freaking delicious.
defensive ends should be pretty freaking good when Allen and Payne are in the middle doing what they do. It's, on the offensive side, you would argue that, a quarterback's better with a good offensive line, and a running back's better with a good offensive line. A tight end is better with a good quarterback. Everything plays off each other. Two elite or, top of the line, defensive tackles, you should be able to put your defensive ends in one-on-one in battle. So, that's what it's going to look like from here on out. I'll say this about Montez Sweat and Chase Young and you guys. I want you guys to have a chance to say the same thing. I loved them as Redskins. Loved them as Redskins. I loved the dedication to the defensive line in terms of the resources we spent. I have zero quarrel with where we drafted either one of them. I love what they did for us. I thought they both won games for us. Thought that it was awesome to have a Rookie of the Year come out of the top of the first round. I love that the local guy played for my team. Our high school conference. I loved all of it. I loved that we had stud athletes at the most important position, arguably in the NFL in terms of rushing the passer. And so I wish them nothing but the best. Everyone, if you want to argue that now we gave up somebody that's going to go off and do something great, I hope they are great. I hope they are. I hope they're awesome. I hope they're great.
I mean, I guess I sort of hope they're great.
Not against us.
I don't have that much.
Okay. I get up for my guys.
Guys like that, and I get it, but guys like that, they're going to make money. They're going to do fine. They're going to have great careers. They're going to have 90 businesses. They're going to be just fine. I'm sad to see them both go because I like both of them because they played hard, and I like that, and I appreciated them. I understand it's a business. I wasn't that sad for that long. Mm-hmm. You got to see what the new stuff is. But, hey, man, Montez started 67 football games for us. Yeah. And that's huge. That's saying you say thank you to that. Yeah. Chase started about 32. He had half the opportunities due to injury. And, man, I loved having him here, and I do hope he does well because we followed him since he was 13, 14 years old. So guys like that you're always going to root for. But this is our team. And I do believe it was what was best, and I doubted that we would do something. I thought we would let the opportunity pass by because we didn't have someone in a position to make a choice this bold, and obviously we do. And it wasn't done by handing some guy that was 37 years old $50 bazillion. It was done by trimming. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just simplify things so we can start from his version of new.
It is drawing a line,
And real quick, he went against the guys. Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio were adamant about keeping both and at least one, from what I understand. And he was like,
because they know their jobs are done if they're both.
Well, I know. And we believe in this team. Well, guess what, turds? I mean,
too bad.
Church is over, brother. I went to confession. I've been doing it for 40-some years. We need some results out there. Pray to the Lord Jesus Christ.
If he threw that challenge flag, I would at least listen. But he didn't, and I'm not. I do. I think it answers the question about who's in charge. I think it answers the question about what rational football people. I'm going to bring up the name Eugene Shen. We haven't talked about him at all. He was hired as an analytics guy. And I know
why the hell haven't we talked about Eugene?
Why haven't we talked about Eugene Shen?
What are we doing out here?
It's an interesting hire.
What up, Eugene?
And it lends itself directly to your question about who's in charge. So here's an analytics guy. When you hear them hiring an analytics guy and you see it, you're like, that's not really, is that a headline? Is that news?
Do they still make pocket protectors?
He worked for the Ravens for a while, which is a quality front office and a decent organization in the NFL. I think most people would respect the way that they evaluate players and build their roster. And he has, he has close ties to the San Francisco front office, and I'll leave it there. But I think that bringing him in 2 weeks ago was telling for a day like today. I think the people that were talking to Josh Harris and Magic Johnson and Rails and all those guys, I think it was the Eugene Shens of the world who they hired to say, Tell me what we need. Tell me
Tell me what happens. What does the numbers say when we do this?
Well, not just what the numbers say, but how can we gain the most future value? I think Josh Harris, like I led off with Josh Harris is going to be respectful to Ron Rivera, but to a point, and I think that he looks to Eugene Chen to say, okay, hey, listen, man, what's the value of keeping Chase Young and Montez Sweat for this season when we're 3-5, when we can get extra draft picks for the guy who I'm going to hire, the next group of people.
I need to know what you mean by, you keep saying he's going to be so respectful. I'm not so sure. He just lopped off his everything, left it lying there on the floor after he begged from not to. And then he walked away. I'm not sure the level of respect.
I think I'm talking about he's not firing him.
I took your 2 defensive ends, even though you said not to, and hey, good luck. I don't know if that's respect.
I think the respect is not firing him.
I think that's, I don't know, but
he's basically fired him.
That's fine.
He just
but I'm okay with that.
Here's the devil's advocate argument to this.
Okay.
Why not let him go? And Jack, I guess, if you want to too, and hand the keys to Eric Bieniemy, and not necessarily say it's up to you in terms of your wins and losses from here on out, but show me how you can.
I know why.
Show me how you can lead a team, and let me see
the whole
it
team,
for
not
next,
just the offense.
Let me see it for the next,
I'll tell you why
10
right
games. And this is your tryout to tell me whether or not I should keep you.
Because I want Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell working for the rest of the season to get good. I don't want him worried about head coaching stuff. I don't want him worried about other stuff. I want him worried about our offense.
Well, he's worried about head coaching stuff. I can
Eric
assure you.
Bieniemy is worried about head coaching
I hope you feel
himself.
good about that, but here's the deal. He didn't come here for anything else, and he's attached at the hip. And what's with
Sam Howell?
Yes. So what's every head coach need to be? Attached at the hip with their starting quarterback.
Understood.
I see no problem with that.
I don't want to put the job on him yet. That's all I'm saying.
Reed does it. Peterson does it.
Hey, listen.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. In fact, right now,
We haven't fired Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera is standing at the. Where is he standing on this ship?
The precipice? The Titanic?
On the bow.
On the riverboat that Ron is getting ready to head down the Potomac River.
I think he's on the back where the big
aft?
the big wheel
Is it the aft?
The big wheel is turning.
Terrible sailor. But I know this. He's right there. He just threw the life preserver in for all of his genitalia floating down the Potomac River because it's gone. It's now gone. He has now been. It's been done.
I understand.
The first cut is the deepest. And it's over.
I think Ron Rivera will do the right thing.
He's a talking puppet now. He's done. He's finished. He has the respect of that locker room because they love him.
Correct.
And that's fair. But Jesus, what's stopping someone when he doesn't challenge something next week or does something else goofy after all this has happened and he's already been deballed by both his DNs being shipped out?
I would argue if he did that again, you make the fire.
He just did it. You got so mad at him.
I am. I'm done. But we're also 3-5. We just traded away our 2 top defensive heads.
I know, which means all right.
I think the writing's on the wall. I think everyone knows it. I think there are less classy coaches who would allow this.
Ron Rivera.
It's in Sharpie, bro.
It's in Sharpie.
I love them.
It's in, dude. It is. They just unearthed it from Pompeii, from underneath the volcanic ash. I mean, that's how deep the writing is. But I think Ron Rivera is a classy enough coach to pilot this ship to the end of the season, and I think we've had
Ron is
and I think Josh Harris is the owner that'll let him.
Okay.
That's going to help us how?
What is Josh Harris going to accomplish this season before he brings
letting
his whole
Eric
team
Bieniemy
in?
deal with all the bullshit as a head coach that he has to deal with the media
Let's see
and all
what
the
you can
shit
do.
and then watching it and see how he exists because we've already seen Ron and he's not going to be here next year. So why would he still be around?
So, okay, so now we're going into super hypothetical, and I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, just so you know. I would love to see Eric Bieniemy, but there's also a way that Eric Bieniemy can get a little bit more responsibility if that's what you want. If Josh Harris can make that happen.
No. Maybe you're hearing this the wrong way. Let me say it this way. Ron Rivera was undoubtedly put in charge as the president of football operations to make every goddamn football choice matter what.
That's
and
correct.
he just made 2 of them and said, don't trade either of them. And he took 2 ferocious sledgehammers to the crotch in a row. He is done. He's been deballed.
But
now
he's not going to quit.
No, but he's lost all
We're
of
not
his
saying
power,
he's gonna
all of his
quit.
ability.
We're
He's
saying
no longer
Josh
in
is gonna
charge.
tell him-
And everyone smells it and everyone knows it. He's no longer in charge. He is
He's
as
no
lame
longer in
as
charge.
he's as lame as a duck could be. He's been taken out of the thing. So that's all. Let's show mercy here is all I'm saying.
I don't. It makes me think of last season in week 17 when they announced that they were going to start Taylor Heineke, and Taylor Heineke walks into the office. He's like, "Hey, listen, you got this guy Sam Howell. Maybe you should just let him play." Now there was reasons he said that because obviously he had been disrespected by being benched against the Cleveland Browns. He hadn't been given a chance to take this team a couple extra games, and as a veteran, he was like, you're doing me wrong. Just give Sam Howell the game, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's the right decision." That's similar here. Ron Rivera could literally go and say, "Hey, listen, I'm not your guy anymore. Go ahead and let Eric Bieniemy run the show, and let's do it. Everyone bow out gracefully. I don't think anyone's going to make a stink." That could totally happen. I understand that. I mean, I don't think
Ron should be in charge of that decision anymore because he's been rid of all decision making as far as I'm concerned.
He's been rid of all personnel decision making. I don't think he's been rid of all coaching decision making.
I know, but that's weird.
He
was hired under one umbrella.
They should probably get somebody to be the replay decision maker from here on out.
I love Ron Rivera, but it's time.
Give somebody else.
We all know what it feels like.
As long as you're starting to just take all his duties away, you may as well just take them all away.
That's all I'm saying. Once that happened today, against his wishes, twice within a matter of hours,
I'm with you.
To me, it was like, oh boy.
Also, put yourself in.
We're not dumb.
Put
we all
yourself
know
in
what that
Eric
means.
Bieniemy's shoes, right? If you don't make this decision, right, in his back of his head, he's saying, Josh Harris doesn't want me as a head coach.
Maybe not.
So maybe I ought to start positioning myself to be elsewhere.
And I don't agree or disagree.
And if that's a choice of Josh Harris, then maybe Ron does just plan it out, and Eric goes on his way too. At some point, they all leave, and then Josh starts over completely new.
And until this week, the offense hasn't exactly been lighting it on fire. And I know they've been solid, and I know that the development of Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy and that combination has been very good for us.
It's moving. It's moving in the right direction.
I do enjoy that aspect. We would be certainly harmed by Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell no longer being able to do football stuff together.
All week long.
I do believe.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about if he wasn't the head coach and they go a different direction. No. Bieniemy's going to do that all week long. He's just going to have to do other shit. This is what he does. He's going to make sure Sam Howell. He ain't leaving Sam Howell. And he's going to delegate, and there's many ways to go about it. I just want to see him function in the role, perhaps, to see if he's a candidate, because just to me right now, how much I love Ron Rivera, he's done. He's finished. He's finished. Just bobbing in the water.
We all agree on that. We all agree on that.
But then why have him out here doing all this average ass shit? That's all. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I'm saying it's annoying to me the way it's transpired that we have more intelligence than that as a fan base. You're really just gonna put Ron up there every week and be like, well, I've got to watch film. We've got to go back and check the film. Like come on. Nothing against Ron.
Why are his pressers going to mean anything?
Exactly. That's what I mean. I don't take it all serious anymore.
No.
I know.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
The line that I would draw there is I would say we were in a coach-centric model at the end of the Dan Snyder regime. I owe $1 to the jar, T. Corporal Turd Swagler regime. We were in a coach-centric universe, and we were excited about that at the beginning of that because we were like, great, we're done with the Vinny Serrato, Bruce Allen-centric universes. And I think this owner is not going to be in a coach-centric universe, and I think he made the universal change mid-season. I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying. I don't think Ron's quitting, and I don't think we're firing Ron Rivera. I'm not being brave enough to say what I think should.
So that's a great environment for these guys to go into work every day.
Well, but I think he's a football coach.
He's a respectful guy.
I think he's a respected coach. I mean, I think that's the message. Like, listen, your job is to coach now, and when he's coaching Forbes and he's getting on Forbes for this, that, and another thing, do you think Forbes is looking at him going, "You're gone,
he should, bro"?
I think he should. I mean, I understand there's millionaire players.
Why would I listen to you?
Why wouldn't you listen to Ron Rivera? He played on the '85 Bears.
Because of what happened yesterday.
Today.
He said today. Sorry, it feels like 100 years ago. That's all. Once that happened, I was like, oh, I'm done. It can't be. Like, it's now no longer Ron's program.
And why would
it's no longer Ron's program? That is a fact. That's a fact.
I know.
You know what? I think the cool thing about it, I mean, the optimist in me sees a Ron Rivera who is kind of rededicated as a coach for the next 9 weeks. We'll see. I don't know. I'm sitting next to a guy in bike shorts, so I'm being very inspired by the old school coaching mentality.
With no underwear, commando style. If you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly.
How am I supposed to not be an old school believer in coaches when I got this sitting next to me? Just so we're clear. But
I'm not in on firing coaches, but once you take both of their testicles from them, you have to give them back and let them go on their own.
They were his testicles. Dan Snyder implanted those testicles and said, "It's your organization." We saw the video from the draft when everyone was like, there was the Martys and all the other people were there, but everything that happened, they were like, "We got to talk to coach first. Let's see what coach says. I want to know what coach says. Let's see what coach says. Coach can make the final call." He's been making the final call, and he made the final call in a vacuum for the last year and a half. Let's be honest. Tanya Snyder was not. I don't know $1 for that one. Tanya Snyder was not running anything. She was not in charge of anything in all of the
Mrs. Shmee.
Ron Rivera was in charge from the second that Tanya Snyder became in charge. Just go back and mark that time. So that time is over.
He did a great job guiding us, navigating us through some troubled times, troubled waters.
Yes.
It's just...
I'm so I want to be totally honest. I fully agree with the way you guys feel about this whole thing.
You got to separate your respect for the man from the respect he does not have now as a coach.
But he has it from the players. I think there's a difference between
as a man.
He didn't get to keep two guys,
not
man.
I
understand. He had the power of the roster yanked from him like a tablecloth in a ballroom, and the centerpiece went flying. And
now he's left with what? Only coaching duties, which you say he has just fallen
woefully shy.
Woefully
shy of being
not only that, he made an egregious. You open the show. It's like Ron Rivera just made the worst decision a coach could ever make, but we should respect him and keep him on.
No.
And in closing, happy Halloween.
Have a sack nut. Does anyone want a sack nut or how about a candy necklace? Can I interest you in a candy or an unmarked piece of taffy? Courtesy of Ken Harris. No. Listen, there's nothing that makes sense right now.
Give Ron the candy. I mean,
How about this? If we would have held on to guys like Steve Spurrier or Jim Zorn for dumb reasons, like of all the guys who outlast their whatever, Ron Rivera is
for
probably
all the guys
best.
We should make dumb decisions for.
You know what I mean?
Be
I don't know. I'm not. Listen.
He will be a beacon of light for the NFL. They will find a way to use his amazing talents as a human being to make this sport greater. And what he's great at is mentoring the youth, and him and his wife do a great job of that. They will find their role in this world with all the money that they've taken from it.
That's kind of why I thought he may have gotten a front office job, but now I know that's...
No, he's
That's
gone.
Even ludicrous.
He's gone.
More than Ken thinking
gone fishing.
He's gone. What did I think? What am I thinking?
It's even more ludicrous than you thinking you should stay on as coach.
And by the way,
I'm not thinking he should stay on as coach. I'm saying he's clearly on as coach. He hasn't been fired and he hasn't quit.
Here's where he really crapped in his polyester biking shorts. If you want to stand on the sidelines for 4.5 years like this, you ain't getting that TV job, homeboy. You got to show some personality.
No,
some
he's not an
What's up with
announcer.
the open jaw, closed mouth look? Them.
I don't know, but the whole time I'm thinking like, is he sitting there thinking like I could be on 15 gummies right now doing the same thing?
He might be.
I know, just like I could look the same way. It wouldn't matter who would know. Who would really know? Does anybody really know? And I'm like, I don't know. We have the same record this time of year every year.
If I were Ron, I'd start firing up the gummies right
would
away.
too.
Just so we're clear, my whole opening, what I wanted to open with about him not throwing the flag, that was the unacceptable, unforgiving, damning moment of his coaching career. If we were to fire him for that, I would be first in line to support it. Just so we're very crystal 100% clear. All I'm saying is Josh Harris.
But he did it.
But he
did do it.
I don't have the power to fire him.
I
guess all I'm trying to say is I made the point. What I'm saying is it's over. It's over because of that. Now, you and I and T also agreed that it's also over because they took away his two testicles this afternoon.
I mean,
yes, but
metaphorical.
We all agree that Ron is
Zag
done.
nuts are done.
And all I'm saying is, I don't think Ron Rivera is going to resign because they traded Sweat and Young.
No.
And I don't think Harris is going to fire him midseason. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that. I'm not saying that's that's not courageous.
I hear you. I don't know anything about Harris that would say that he would or wouldn't, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm speculating. I'm speculating.
I assume
it
that
doesn't make a lot of sense unless Josh Harris has clearly said to himself, "I don't want Eric Bieniemy as my head coach." Period. Therefore, I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to go find somebody new.
No.
Well, Eric Bieniemy still could be involved in that new process because you got a big decision to make. Because him and Sam Howell have really, really synced up together. So you want to find someone else for Sam?
And
you want to find another quarterback? That's a whole different regime scenario.
I don't want to make him the head coach in name only. I want him to.
Greg Martin hates that we keep beating on it, but it's fine.
No, we're doing it.
It's what happened.
This is where we are right now.
This is our head coach.
And I want to
what
throw
else
this up
is there to talk about?
So here's the deal: we have the Patriots, Seahawks, and Giants. Okay,
I don't mind two of those three. I just really know that historically our flight to Seattle, regardless of their abilities or inabilities, has always been tough sledding. It's just never.
It's hard to do when you're
a tough play. Yes,
when you're the number one team and when you're the top team in the NFL to fly completely across the country and win a game.
But those other two games, I think, and the Seattle
Without a
game,
doubt.
the Seattle game is not.
It's winnable.
Of course, it's winnable.
Every game's winnable.
No. These games, more so than
You're gonna
Buffalo.
If the Broncos are beating the Chiefs,
I understand what you're saying, T. But we lost to an 0-4 Bears team, not just
that
like
was so bad.
like a month ago.
the Bears didn't Bears beat San Francisco? Who'd they beat?
I don't think they beat San Francisco.
Wait, no, who'd the Bears beat 2 weeks ago?
I think
Everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Tyson Bagent.
Were you watching Wizard of Oz?
Shepherd's finest. Shout out
Bagent.
Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, he sure did.
2 weeks ago they mauled Arizona, I believe.
I don't know if it was. I thought it was somebody pretty good.
Here's where I'm giving you guys a little bit of this. I was going to sneak this up on you. We have the Patriots, Seahawks, and Giants. We got a Thanksgiving game on the road, obviously on Thanksgiving against Dallas. Interestingly, there's two big breaks. You got the mini bye after Thanksgiving, and you got the bye after the Dolphins. That, to me, is the exit ramp from Ron Rivera, if in fact you're looking to give Eric Bieniemy some experience for head coaching. He's got 2 away games. He finishes 2 at home. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you guys, because I agree with what you're saying about it, the Ron Rivera era is over. But if the
Giants beat him again, he stays. Is what you're telling me?
No, no. That's not what I'm telling you. That's not what I'm telling you at all.
That's pre-Thanksgiving, sir.
All I'm saying, I'm not. I don't.
They average 11 a game.
I'm not looking past.
They've already done it to us once.
I'm not looking past the.
If he loses to the Giants again, I'm going to punch myself.
What is
in the
Ron
face with
doing
my
right
car.
I'm not
now
looking
to
past
help this team win?
the Patriots game. I'm not looking past the Patriots game. All I'm saying is
the Patriots stink. They're 2-6.
They stink.
And they're going to find a way.
No, they won't.
This coach is going to find a way.
This is the game. So we already had 2 games we should have won, and which is a ludicrous thing for a Commanders/football team/Redskins fan to ever say, because again, they schedule us for homecoming. We already had 2 of those games. We're going to win games that are going to at the end not freaking matter, and this is one of them. And it's not even a revenge game. Like, I want to beat Bill Belichick so bad because I have bad memories of him coming into my house and messing all over my rug.
I don't think this is the time to gain revenge over.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a meaningless revenge. It's meaningless. I want to win against the Patriots, but
of course, I want to win every week.
I want to beat I want the Wizards to beat the Celtics last night or 2 nights ago, and it didn't happen.
I'd much prefer to beat Billy Belichick.
That's what I'm not. That's what I'm talking about. So I will say that I do think that if the season keeps kind of going like this, where we're kind of just like we have like the floaties on our arms and we're just kind of bobbing and in the wave pool and with no real direction and no real whatever, I think then you're like, hey Ron, here's the deal.
Rivera's been out there like, hey. What's going on, guys?
He's throwing the football in the water. The lifeguard's like, dude, get out of the deep. Like there's a rip current, my friend. And he's like, I don't even care.
This your ball, coach?
Yeah. And
float it away again.
Jack Del Rio will get in the passenger seat of that car as they leave. FedEx.
I just can't get the image of you in a waiting pool with swimmies on beating Bill Belichick right now. So I'm having issues over here in my own brain.
Wait, define beating.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I have no comment.
So they are a terrible team. They're 2-6, and we are an underdog.
We're 2.5, baby.
And dude, by the way, it started at 1. And the whole world said
double that.
It should be more. It should be more.
40.5 over under, and the whole world's telling everyone to bet the under. I've read it 11 places. I'm like, you pedal pushing pieces of poo.
It is so bad.
There's nothing worse than betting the under in freaking New England when your team's there playing against Belichick. Yeah. Oh,
makes me so upset.
Oh, you got a hot tip on the turd team in New England versus Belichick?
I want to tell everybody
Some guy
to bet
told you
so
something?
bad. Take the 2.5. It's a gift. It's an early Christmas present. I want to say that so bad with a straight face, and yet I know better than anyone as someone who
Type
has been
in
burned.
any cornball betting site right now and let them tell you about how the under is the play of the week. The ironclad lock.
I think the fool's bet is like I said, just to convince the world to bet on the Commanders in this game. But like, if you watch what Sam Howell did on offense behind that makeshift offensive line and with those receivers, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I mean, that's an offense. Like, okay, so offenses aren't good in week 1. Really awesome offenses are good in week 2 or 3, maybe 4. And they're humming. Look at the Bengals. Like, Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks on the planet, and he's right.
Finally getting healthy.
He's healthy. His offense is going. But that's the team to bet on, by the way, the Cincinnati Bengals. But the offense to bet on right now is the Washington Commanders offense. They are all the skill positions are fully healthy. They have an offensive line that just gave up. No. Well, it sucks, T.
It sucks.
But the Philadelphia Eagles came into town and they leave
match
town
up well against the Eagles.
The
somehow.
7th highest sack
to play
total
the
in the
Eagles every
league,
week.
T. The 7th highest sack total in the league. They get to the quarterback as good as
And
anyone.
number 1 versus the run.
And
so
number
it's
1
not like
versus
there's
the
some
run.
chumps.
And we
It's crazy how we play against them.
We executed.
We did.
Against them.
Play them every week.
Let's play them every week,
I wish
T.
we could, aside from their fan base.
But it doesn't change the fact that our line is terrible. It's not going to get any better.
Our line is okay. Today we addressed the line. That's the way I see it. We added draft picks. Kevin said it first. We all agree.
Yeah.
We get 5 of the top 100 players in the next draft. I promise you. I guarantee you. I'll throw in just Kevin's bike shorts in the middle of the floor.
Sorry, non-negotiable.
We're getting 2. 2 of those 5 picks will be offensive linemen. At least
2.
I mentioned Commando previously, right?
Yes.
Yes.
2 of those 5. I think we need a tight end, a cornerback, and a linebacker as well. But anyway,
when we cut
and we
Charles
have
Leno
money.
because he counts 15 against the cap next year, he jumps up from 8 to 15.
What about defensive
And
ends?
hold on, T, and his cap number goes down. There's $7.5 million to save from getting rid of a Charles Leno.
Yes.
And I think we take old Andy Wiley and take him right back to his old spot as a guard. And now we've taken both of our previous 2 years right tackles, given them 1 year on sabbatical,
Yes.
way too far outside against all the really athletic MFers, and bring him back in. And now we've got what we've already pre-packaged ourselves in
Yes.
some fashion, a Gates and Stromberg type scenario at center with a Wiley and a Cosme at guards. And now we go find our guys. And one of them's going to be a youngster.
bookends.
And I think one of them has to be a veteran guy.
we have the money for that.
And we do.
We have
and
the money
let's
for that.
Spend it accordingly. Now, I want to get a young guy. I do. And breed him. We got Braden Daniels sitting back there. We got a couple guys that are sitting back in the
But
wings.
we have the money
But we have
to find a guy who a team can't afford to keep.
We need it. And by the way, Wiley's contract also suggests that he's here next year. Wiley and Gates are here next year, whether we like it or not. They are back. They are here. Let's put Wiley in a position to succeed with Cosme at guard and get freaking that center thing straightened out by one of these two. I don't give a shit who
even
it
if
is.
Gates is
I
a
know
backup.
Stromberg just got carted off, and I hope he's all right. But
Yeah.
it seems to me like he'll have plenty of time to rehab to get back before next year.
And Gates as a backup is fine. If Yates is your backup, you're
Figure
great.
out your center. If Tyler Larson has to come around another year and fight his balls off, it's fine. And I'd like to bring Cornelius Lucas back as a swing because he just keeps doing it so well, no matter how old he gets. But here's the deal:
he's so good.
He's a bad dude, man, and he should have made more money going somewhere else. But he seems like an old school cat that likes where he's at.
More?
I don't know why anyone hasn't come to get him, but I know every time he steps in, he does a great job for us. We need tackles to deal with what we're dealing with in this NFC East. Micah Parsons, Hassan Reddick. Are you joking me? We're coming out right off. We're showing up with a butter knife, and they're coming out here with freaking semi-automatics, and that's how it's about gone.
Yep. No. So we have a first rounder. We have 2 seconds and 2/3. Like you said, Kev.
5 of the top 100 players in amateur football in the universe
are coming to our team. We get a chance, and those 100 players, those 100 top players coming into the league, they can play. They can play. It's just a matter of who picks them. We believe that we're going to have a new picker of players, and it's not going to be Ron. It's not going to be his regime. Stay tuned on that.
I just want to say this: I really want to beat Mac Jones's ass. I don't like him.
Yeah, I know you don't like him.
Yeah, of course.
I've never liked him.
Beat his ass.
It's not that he's not a good player. He's a better player than I thought he would be. But he's just as big of a whatever.
He's not Jalen Hurts.
No. He's not. If Mac Jones scrambles for a 13-yard first down run, I'm turning the television off with my torso.
I believe that Tuhill, JS Dub, and I hope that the other guys get some run. They can get him moving. He is not the guy who can hurt you with his legs. If we break the pocket down the way we can, because the way we're breaking the pocket down, let's just all agree. We're breaking the pocket down with Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne.
They might want to get a piece of Mac Jones.
Yes.
Them Bama boys, they might think, I didn't like him either.
That's why I said Jalen Hurts, the former Alabama guy.
I know. Well, the respect there is different. They don't want to break him in half. They might want to just, twister.
And their number one wide receiver is out.
Do you know this, or are you speculating on that?
There's been a lot of hints on social medias of just the respect between brothers. Of course, all Alabama guys and blah, blah, but Mac Jones never seems to be in on it. He always seems to be on the outskirts. But as a team leader, well, it's hard to follow up Tua and Jalen. They're two of the better leaders in the universe, in the football universe right now. They really are. So I'm not comparing him against them. He's a different cat, and he has developed in the way in the league, and he's turned into a guy that's just a regular guy. He's no longer being lauded as the next Tom Brady, which I do appreciate, and I appreciate that he's improved. Of course, he's going to up there under that place. I mean, you either do or you ain't.
By the way,
anymore.
they're also. I mean, at 2-6, they're in disarray. Their fan base is
throwing
up in their mouth.
Ramondre Stevenson's a good player.
Gone.
No, but I'm saying they're going between quarterbacks in game. It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
And Kendrick Bourne, their number one wide receiver, is out.
I don't think he's gone. I think he does whatever he wants.
I think Belichick's gone.
Oh, Bourne's out.
Oh, Bourne's out. What I saw was
did
that
not know Bourne was out. That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Well, of course it is.
Against us, because our secondary is the worst in the league.
Because A.J. Brown's got 5 touchdowns all year, 4 against us. You're like, wait a second. And then you watch the Bears play, and you're like, looking at the stats, and you're like, oh, my gosh, that was all against us, too. So if Bourne's out, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's so humbling. It's so humbling to be a Washington fan when you literally go around and you're filming the Hall of Fame videos for every single player you play on a weekly basis. You're just like, hey, you should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's just film your video this week. I mean, it feels that way sometimes. Again, you ask me if I'm angry. I'm saying that with a smile on my face.
You know what the shittiest part was?
We've been doing it forever.
The one sack after all the hype. The one sack was Hassan Reddick on Wiley.
On Wiley.
After he made his bones and blah, blah. But you know what? So what? That's what the sport is. It's the same guys. They're the best 1,000, the top of the 1,000 millionth percentile of human beings on planet Earth that play this sport. Of course, it's going to be the same guys going against each other at some point in time. But poetic justice for us never really works out in the final stanza.
It's the anti-Shakespeare, and I will say
he loves his British literature.
I don't want to get you guys going on Shakespeare. By the way, this guy's a Shakespeare.
No, it's ugly.
Ken's over here cutting his ear off for Ron.
That's Van Gogh's, dude. I'm not cutting my ear off for anybody.
You are.
I'm done with Ron. I'm done with Ron. After the non-challenge throw, I'm done with Ron. I'm just saying he's not done with us.
Van Gogh, my earlobe. I can't hear. I'm here though.
I can't hear him here.
Who is it, Board?
And
Who is it? Who is it? Van Gogh, my earlobe. I can hear. I'm here though. I won't say anything else. If someone gets it, they do. If they don't, they don't. Keep going. Keep going. Now that's just a little sidebar.
Yeah, no, I like it.
But we can't just sit here and stare at each other trying to think of it.
I don't know it.
I can't. I believe you do.
As it sounded,
I know. I've heard it. I've heard it with you.
Okay.
So I know you do. I've heard it with you too, but I know that it's not something that
I
you
don't retain things like that.
No, well, you retain plenty. You just don't retain
Lyrics
green room.
of every song that you've listened to for the entire.
If someone on the board gets it, I'd be very proud of them.
I think the roster building good news of the day is I think Cam Curl's going to be a safety for us for a while.
Cam Curl had to be thinking, oh, goddamn.
I think Cam Curl's going to be around for a while. A hot
40
second.
million. Legit, almost half the salary cap could have crept into his scenario. Now it's all gone. Now there's 90 out there, and we all know damn well he deserves his portions.
If you're Cam Curl's
deserves
agent,
his portions.
If you're Cam's agent,
Give him
this
his
is
monies.
the greatest day of. That guy woke up. That guy's gonna wake up tomorrow morning. He's gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
I thought that.
I have a guy who I know my team wants. I know his team wants. And I know everyone wants, and he's gonna get whatever he wants because they have $100+ million to spend after the wild. I mean, Cam Curl's getting paid by us. He ain't going anywhere.
And whoever comes in on the defensive side of the ball will obviously have something to say about this. His skill set has already spoken loud enough to all of us that says, you want him to play corner? He's done it. He's played nickel. He's played Buffalo nickel. I don't think we'll have another Buffalo nickel. Do you think the new guy will have more than 2 linebackers? I'm not sure. I think we might, but I know we're going to have some dudes because
linebackers, yes.
If Cam Curl is in the mix, that means we want to play this certain style of ball.
Sure.
And he's not a sit back and catch the ball 30 yards downfield type guy that's playing center field. He's I can do that, and I can play the line of scrimmage and smack you right in the mouth.
Can we grade Quan Martin this week? Can you?
I can't.
I can't either.
How can we?
He played some downs, but I
don't think we can until next season.
Okay.
I got to be honest.
Quan, he got snaps this week. He snapped.
He did. Well, he's an aggressive monster of a physical.
Yeah, he
dude,
made a couple nice
Oh,
plays,
dude!
but
By the way, Ken Harris with the Dirty Heads vacation.
Ken, you have got to be kidding me.
You have got to be kidding all of us.
Ken, I tried to tell him, and they knew.
He
but
knew.
You knew.
Because you said it.
Oh, no.
Because you said
I may be a weirdo, but this is my year, yo. Ken Harris. That just finished up.
Right,
I am.
We're gonna do a show live from Ken Harris's house.
I
at
am
this
a
point in time.
huge.
Wait. No, I don't say I. You have to say we.
Hold on.
Okay,
I was getting there.
he started it.
No, Matt Seal started.
Hold up. First of all,
in the day,
no one gave me dirty heads.
No.
I sat and listened to their dumbass little bit, blah blah blah, and I love Sublime is my number one.
Yes.
And old Bradley was recovering from some BS, and their lead singer had a home, and he stayed there, and he opened up the thing, and the famous quote was, "You guys got a band?" Well, right before he died, he signed them and gave them their start. So one of the greatest things he ever did was allow his genre that he created, Bradley Noel. Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
And by the way, I love them. And if they come east next year, I'm going. If not, I'm Red Rocks.
Hey, no.
I don't care. I'm going to see the Dirty
by the way,
Heads
we're locked.
in the next year.
We're locked in that. We're locked.
They've been coming east. I'm all in.
We're
and
locked.
if they play with Sublime at Rome, I'm all in because Rome's a bad SOB. Never thought anyone could be
doing
Bradley.
it.
He's not, but he is a gracious and amazing.
I got that Island Glow, yo.
Oh, boy.
Island Glow, yo. And you know what? When you grab the mic, you better believe Ken Harris. God damn it, Ken Harris is just bringing it up constantly. So Cam Curl is. I think today was a statement on Cam Curl as much as anything. I believe the teams had a value set on him. But safety, you can pay that. You can pay the money, and I think that We have the money, and guess what? There's no excuse
15
for not
a
signing
year,
him.
I hear. 15 and some change a year.
Done.
I know.
Done.
4 years,
Done.
62 and some change
Sure.
is what Spot Track, I can't say it. That's the, suggestive. Fine, because if we don't re-sign a guy like Cam Curl, that will come back to haunt us. The other stuff that had to be dealt with in a contract year is fair enough, but a Cam Curl type cat, man, holy moly.
So there will be, so again, we talk about, and this is going to be an ongoing theme. You're going to hear us say this as a refrain, as, hold on, wait, before we let EO is still on the board out in the West Coast.
Nothing would make me happier. I bang these dudes in my house every day.
EO and his wife
love all music.
did a Big Lebowski thing for Halloween. I just want you to know, EO, I tried to get the pictures on, and I failed. So it's my fault. The EO Anderson and his wife Big Lebowski pictures are perfect. He was Walt. I'm sorry. She was the dude. And he was Walter, and it was his Walter is literally, and I'll show it to you in the green room when we go out and listen to Dirty Heads on the in the green room now, because that's what's going to happen. His Walter Sobachek was out of this world good. So just so you know, EO, I messed that up. It's my fault. I just want to say in response to Kevin's talk a couple stanzas ago about moving guys inside, like Leno, for example, and Cosme and Wiley, and working them on the inside.
Not Leno. Leno's price tag goes up double next year.
And you're talking about,
that's when he's a $7.5 million lighter, but there's 8 against the cap. So
yeah,
8 dead, 15 live. I think that's a type cap. But how about this? There's not one left tackle in the top 50.
The whites,
free agents. It's the tackle spot is going to have to be traded for or drafted.
It's the way it works in the NFL. At quarterback, at left tackle, at corner, for the most part at WR1, and for the most part also at DT, DL, 1. CB1. Those guys, I mean, you have to draft. And again, that feeds back into our strategy. And I do think, and the board was on, and I apologize for not bringing the board comments onto the screen. I do think the Eugene Shen, whose name is probably being oversaid.
Eugene Shen. I've never gotten to say that so dramatically before.
It's a great name to chant.
Can you tell me about Eugene again, Ken? Before the night gets too late.
Let's save it for next week, Kev. Let's save it for next week.
I got to think about Eugene all week.
You know what?
You'll be thinking about Eugene too, Timothy. I can see it in your eyes. He doesn't give 2 shits about Eugene.
We still have people hanging out with us tonight. If anyone is still there.
Great group. It's Halloween. God bless you.
If you're still watching, give us that thumbs up. Give us that subscription. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs by Thanksgiving. That's our goal. Help us out if you could. And the issue with Eugene Shen to me is
he's been bobbing for apples since noon.
He's bobbing for apples. It's a meaningful hire because it seemed meaningless a week and a half ago when Josh Harris hires Josh Harris, and I say Josh Harris to mean the new regime. Not just Josh Harris, but the people in charge now, the people who bought the team. When they hire a guy like Eugene Shen, and you think, oh, whatever, they're hiring a math nerd to work in the back room, and who cares? And then a day like today happens, and everything goes against the people who are there currently. That to me brings me back to, but you just hired this guy Eugene Shen. Now he's in the league for a while. He's worked for the Ravens, again, a quality class organization. He has ties to San Francisco. They've been getting their roster right for quite some time. And you wonder if the hire didn't have 2 meanings. And I'm going to read everything into everything right now. Initially, I think it's the first reading is it mattered at the trade deadline, clearly. The Josh Harris group was concerned with their thought about where our team was going, not Ron Rivera's wishes about where our team was going. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're going to hire somebody new in this offseason. Who's it going to be? It's going to be a new GM. It's going to be a new coach, all of that. And Interestingly, and I'm setting this up so you can douse it because I do know that there is some dousing out there. Eugene Chen is connected to the San Francisco 49ers organization. They have a hot to trot assistant GM who has declined interviews in the past and is next in line in San Francisco, which is a great spot. But
the declination of interviews kind of suggests that he thinks he's kind of a big deal.
He does think he's a big deal. Yeah. He does think he's a big deal, and he is boys with Eugene Chen. That is why I keep saying that name, because if there's an organization out there that I want to
proceed,
find somebody to bring into my spot, I'm going San Fran. I mean, who else has done it better in the last 3 years, anyways?
The Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm just going to say that
we already got their offensive coordinator. We got their guy. We already got their guy.
They've been to one Super Bowl, but they haven't won nothing. They got no trophies that I want. But anyways, I know what you're saying.
They're building the roster
and you're right. And no doubt that Adam Peters
appreciate that.
is absolutely.
It ain't going to happen.
But here's the deal.
It's like whatever.
Will you put me on? And also, where's Eugene? Also, where's he earned his keep? With the Ravens.
Yes.
Who has done better over time than Ozzie Newsome's freaking Baltimore Ravens with him in charge?
Yeah.
And now, so there's a couple cats, and you bring in Adam Peters. There's also Mr. Weidel and Ian Cunningham.
Cunningham for sure.
Two proteges
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
of Ozzie, and they both learned. And I think what Brian Baldinger said was studying under Ozzie Newsome
the crazy
is equal
hands with the
to
fingers
a
all the way out.
Harvard business degree.
I believe it.
And so that, and listen, obviously, Eugene Chen is no joke with his Harvard freaking whatever.
Yes.
So, but that's where this sport is definitely trending, and that's what's happening out there. And by the way, I'm all right with it. Let's get some guys in here that, and I love Rivera's old school, but you know, if you're like, I can't see the replay. My daughter, my son, your daughters, your son, everyone's got a device. Everyone can see everything these days. I love Rivera, but maybe it's time for someone with a different device.
One of the reasons why I love Rivera so much was because I thought he was the kind of guy who would look down the sidelines and see 40 people telling him to throw the flag, and he would throw the flag. That's one of the things that I thought about him the most. And in that situation, I don't know why he didn't do it.
He was looking to find the replay.
I don't want any
and then the time ran out, and he was
to
like,
need 40 guys to
does
tell him
T. Stratton have any candy left?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
I want a coach that doesn't need 40 people to tell him to throw the flag. I want a coach that sees it and goes, you know what? That didn't look right. I'm going to throw the flag on that.
Well, Bill Belichick steps on the referee's foot, then throws the flag off of his other foot while he maintains direct eye contact.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I don't like Bill Belichick, but I like that style of coaching.
I'm wearing this candy necklace around you,
Bill
Ken
Belichick's
Harris.
the greatest football coach, but no, I don't mean that. I just,
Charms?
I don't want to do anything like.
Wait, are these the ones that squirt out you? Are the charms, the squirters?
Sir.
Charms squirters.
Those are gushers.
Those are gushers. Sorry.
Gushers.
Candy dots. You're gonna get the candy dots. We got double bubble. I just need some. Oh, by
Can
the
I
way,
just say one thing while Ken's digging through candy?
Pink owl. A little bit of
digging through candy.
The fake cigar.
I love
in
it
the
now.
house.
No, you have to have a fake cigar and some fake cigarettes in there.
Oh yes. Oh, by the way, fake cigarettes. Check.
No way.
Yeah, you have
Those
to.
are awesome.
You have to.
Target
You
candy.
know, you don't have an old
Kidding
school
me?
box of candy without a thing of cigarettes.
Not fake. You know what?
Are they Lucky
awesome.
Stripes?
By the way,
No,
these
they're
ones.
Not. They're
damn it.
What is it?
The Target. But by
Target.
the way, but they
fine.
don't have the cutter. They don't have the string.
Let me just ask you this real
what do
quick
you
while
got?
we're sitting here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Greg Martin's mentioned it. It's been mentioned to me multiple times this week, and I don't know why it's coming out of nowhere. Everyone's reading it and blah blah blah. And his brothers in the Baltimore Washington region. Is there going to be two Harbaughs in Baltimore and Washington? Is that in your personal opinion right now? How legit is that? That's
I don't
coming.
think Jim Harbaugh comes here.
That
no.
is absolutely no. It has nothing to do with our ownership. This is absolutely on the rumor list of
Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh wants another shot at the NFL. By the way, did you notice in
if
the
he
last
wins the
week?
national championship, does that make anything?
No.
Does that affect it? Me neither. I love the guy. He coached my cousin in college, and he's a great man to my cousin, and blah blah blah. But
Ken Harris, you better still be watching
Ken
Ken Harris.
Dozen. Oh my god!
You better still be watching Ken Harris.
This makes my outfit so much better tonight. And then you do a
This
number.
is
Then you have a
old
drink
school.
in your hand with a number one. Every uncle of mine. This is what they look like in every picture.
By the way, this is how I make omelets on Sunday mornings. This is how I make
With the
omelets on
bike
Sunday
shorts,
mornings.
with the bike shorts on. With the bike shorts on.
I'm like, what do you who wants it? Who wants what do you want some salsa? Do you want some cheese and mushrooms in there? What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm not a big Jay Schrader guy, but Joe Gibbs knows everything.
I'm going to leave that box of candy behind me. We're going to bring it out over the course of the next 10,000 weeks. I don't know. However long it takes us to work through that box of candy, it is show candy.
The Lucky Stripes were the bubble gum with the little, you could puff. There's actually the sugar that you can blow off.
These targets are going back in the...
What's the THC in this bad boy?
I know, right? It looks like a joint.
Mercy, what are we talking?
It's more than you think it is. It's more than you think it is.
It hits like a hammer.
Oh, Ken Harris is still on smoke break, baby. Study all time. I love it. Oh, by the way, can I just say 3 words to Ken Harris? I love you.
No. Okay, good. God, I never thought those were going to be the 3 words, even though I do know that's true.
And I want to take just a
deep inhale.
A smoke break in the basement to say thank you to Ken Harris for the following. First Amendment Sports was launched in 2017, or actually we were launched in 2008. But the 3 of us started doing stuff in 2015, and we decided that we wanted to cover high school sports, and we're not just high school sport, any high school sports, the greatest high school sports conference in the entire country, the WCAC. Look it up; it's a fact. DeMatha, McNamara, St. John's, Jeff Big Play Clay. Gonzaga. We have a million brothers.
Tim Reddy, good
counsel, including Tim Reddy. We have contacts and brotherly and sisterly love at all the other places. But getting this effort off the ground required people to believe in us and people to believe in what we wanted to do, which is just shine a light on the greatest kids in the entire country in high school sports. And Ken Harris absolutely saw that and understood it. And not only did he understand that, but he said, hey, listen, I graduated from Bishop McNamara. And there's a guy who's sitting at that table who went to Bishop McNamara. And everyone knows who DeMatha is. And everyone knows who St. John's is. But not everyone knows who Bishop McNamara is. And I want that to change. And he is part of making our conference better. Because our conference is better when everyone knows who we are. And we got the chance to be at Bishop McNamara 3 times this year. We called 4 of their games. Coach Greg Calhoun is doing a great job in bringing that program back and also
the real way.
Credit to the administration for saying we don't want to play anyone else. We want to play these 4 teams, the hardest 4 teams in the entire country. No one plays 4 harder teams than Bishop McNamara. We want to keep doing it until we freaking win. And we got the guy to do it, and we got the support to do it. And Ken Harris said, "We want you to come and do it." And again. It's awesome. We thank you, and you've been a huge supporter of us on Saturdays. And I want to separate that because
and Tuesdays.
Our Tuesday thing is special. Our Tuesday thing is special. It's not high school. Obviously, it's not high school. But Ken Harris gets us, and so we love you, buddy.
That's a fact.
So many people have been supporting us.
Bud.
So many people have been supporting us, and you get the special shout out this week. New England Patriots come to town. Or we go to town. Sorry, let me just put that in there.
They come to Boston for the
They come to Gillette. T. Strachan leads us off as he always does, admirably. What's the final score of this game, sir?
17-16 bad guys.
Oh, God, I shouldn't have given you the 1970s candy. I shouldn't have done it. I regret it. I regret it every second of it. I can't believe I did it. Did you eat that entire Zagnut? Because I did not think you.
I didn't get the Zagnut.
The good thing was these were great candy cigarette J's, but the real candy cigarettes you could blow the cigarette powder out of.
That's what I said. The Lucky Stripes.
Yeah, the Lucky Stripes.
And
for sure.
Also, you just said that we're going to lose by 1.
I love you, EO. I love you, EO.
That's fair. That's fair.
I just want EO to know how much I love him. I love AGH. Greg Martin still announced.
I'm down.
I love you, even though you're the grumpiest Halloween Friday the 13th watcher.
Well, I'm going to say this about Halloween real quick. To make it happy real quick, EO, I'm going to say that 69 years ago today, the Washington Redskins on October 31st beat the Baltimore Colts. I'm just saying, listen, I was doing all my stuff today on Halloween. We're 8-4 in Halloween. Lifetime. Of course, Danny Boy's got a 3-game losing streak, but I should have called him something else. Whatever. Anyways,
Captain Churchwagler.
when
Whatever.
they won 69 years ago, I had a grandfather who I loved dearly, who was on the field that day.
Yeah, you
One
did.
of his good buddies.
Big John.
He didn't play against Big Jim. He didn't play against, but Artie Donovan and my grandfather were buddies. Artie Donovan was on the other side, and Don Shula was on the other side. And in the District of Columbia that day on Halloween 69 years ago, 1954 Griffith Stadium, we got our first W to go 1-5. They were already 1-4. We gave them their
Was
fifth
Johnny
loss.
there?
It was the two worst teams in the NFL that day.
No
69
Johnny?
No Johnny.
No Johnny.
No Johnny. Sorry. Well, this
Sorry.
was 54.
54. Sorry, I got my years wrong.
Yes.
I mean,
That's all right.
I know Artie and Big.
Don Shula, Artie Donovan,
Jim.
my grandfather. I didn't know any other names, and I'm a historian. There's some Redskins names, but I know. How about this? 69 years ago, we won tonight. My grandpa was on the field. Artie Donovan's one of our favorite people of all time to talk crap about since we've been doing this for 9 years. You parked his car in Baltimore, Maryland.
I did.
And Don Shula's kind of a big deal. So
A million times I parked this
it's nice to talk about wins on Halloween for the franchise.
17-16 loss, and just so we're clear,
Am I up next?
you were predicting that as a win previously. You're up next, Kev.
That was before we traded for DNs.
Our best two pass rushers. We're not going to need those guys anymore. We just get rid of those guys. Who needs the rest of the pass rush? It's not even a
I
thing.
thought those two were going to be on the roster when I made that prediction.
It would have been great that night if like EO was like or AGH or Eric. Greg
Who
Martin.
needs these guys?
Would you have that same record had we traded both of our defensive starting ends within 3 hours on the deadline day? What?
Just
Who?
what do you got?
I thought we were going to make a choice here. Mac Jones does the safety dance,
Yes.
and we win 23-21.
So they're scoring what 14 points a week? That's their average, I believe.
You're saying Mac Jones has a walk-off safety loss?
No, I didn't say walk off.
Okay.
I said during the afternoon, Mac Jones does the safety dance.
I got you.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Two hill.
Hey, 2-0. Yes, I appreciate that, by the way. I will tell you right now, this game won't be close. This is a new era in the year 1 AD. We are drawing our line in the sand. We already drew it at the beginning of it. This is all everything about this year is about getting us right. Now, a new owner took over in August. He's not gonna. He couldn't change a lot of things, but everything about the year 1 AD points to this one incontrovertible truth. We will score more than 30 points. We will give up less than 17 points, and the final score will be 31-16. Good guys. I think that this is an easy win for us. Honestly, I do. I see our offense staying on track. I think that we just did it in
Are
a
these
way.
like the original edibles?
Yeah, right.
It might be. I'm feeling a little weird. I'm feeling weird. By
Me
the way,
too.
keep your hands on the table. I want everyone's hands where I can see them. For God's sake.
There's a trap
Thank
door in these bike shorts.
I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm gonna
Where's my clown hand? Where's my clown hand? I can't find it anywhere.
Can it be more fun to root for this team?
Oh God, yeah, it could 1,000%. I just cut a trap door of some dude's shorts from
what I'm saying.
middle America.
Listen.
Yes, it
Stay
could be
with
more
us
fun.
Stay with us on Tuesdays. We're gonna get you.
Jesus.
We're gonna get you through the year 1 AD. It's been a rocky road. It's been a rocky ride, and it ain't gonna get less rocky, and it ain't gonna get less.
No, AGH got us losing by half a dozen.
AGH.
It's a great prediction.
But he
It's
already
amazing.
said he already said he's here. He's already said he's visually
Greg
impaired.
Martin came with it.
Greg Martin came with it for sure. NES. By the way, NES. God damn it. All right, we're gonna get. Anyways, Robert Cohen
You
stayed
didn't
on.
come over and say hi to you at any of the Mac.
I didn't see NES at any of the McNamara games. I was
Thank
there
God. I
for 3
thought-
weeks.
To be honest, I'm happy because
I
I
knew
thought I
that's
was
what
going
he
to
was
miss
saying.
it. I don't want to miss it. I was going to feel so left out.
NES. I'm very disappointed.
Oh, there was
I
no
didn't meet
fish
you.
sandwiches either this weekend, sir. So you didn't
Yeah,
miss them.
that's true.
So the one Ken Harris gave you to give to me that you decided to
Was the
engorge
last
in
one.
I
yourself.
did.
Yes.
was the last one.
I don't remember.
available.
I don't remember how the text went. Either he engorged in it, or he was engorged, or something about he was engorged.
I never heard anything about engorged. By the way,
It was because you weren't on that text.
That was a
lot of eating
Harlequin
going on.
romance novel you were reading, sir. And God darn it, I love when you with your voice. By the way,
it's true. Rocky and Gorge.
people
It's
don't
a
know
very
this
nice overlay.
about Kevin, and that they should. He does books on tape for the Harlequin romance novel series. It is amazing. It is so good.
It's my sister's
It
brother-in-law's
is called.
friend's
It is.
company.
They call that the Insta Boner series, and it is super sexual.
You're ruining.
Is there anything in this? I feel like I don't even know.
I'm never going to listen to Ken.
I can't wait to
ever
eat the
again.
Zagnut in the green room.
I feel like there's something in this.
Yum, yum, yum,
For
yum.
goodness sake, I don't even know. I mean, this is
I love when T gives the look of disgust.
Well,
I've
there's some
had
disgust
enough
out
of
there.
this.
There's
It's been a
13
minute-
people
wait, a
watching
minute
and only
too long.
8 thumbs up. I mean,
He's pissed because
minute
he
too
spiked
long.
his Diet Coke earlier and it's got no juice left.
Well, listen, we started. Halloween ends late because of daylight savings. Obviously, we're going to get an extra hour back tomorrow. We're just going to claim it over the weekend.
Yeah, that's not till Saturday at midnight or 2.
Well, you know what? Have another target.
Fall back, baby. Oh, another target might.
I want to say a special thank you to all of our friends: EO, Greg, AGH, Robert Cohen, NES Tecmo.
I wouldn't spend another Tuesday without
Ken
you guys,
Harris,
man.
for God's sake.
Every week, it's so much fun.
I mean, who else?
Surrounding yourself with people that feel the
Rat-
same way, that love
Yeah.
what we love, while we're all getting hurt.
It
works.
It's done.
It works.
J Dub's got us winning 27-18. We're in the same ballpark. There's no way they score 18 points against our defense. Now with James Smith Williams in there. Now with two hill rush in the passer. Sorry.
Too
I'm
legit
sorry.
to quit. Casey Toohill.
Yeah. Sorry. You're just dead wrong, J Dubs. They're not scoring 18 points. We're gonna be back in 7 days from now, breaking down one of the greatest wins of our season.
Whoa.
I'm giving that to you right now. And I'm not saying you should bet on it because you should not bet on that at all. You should not put a single dollar on that. He's Dim Strachan.
Till next week, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week.
Did you already eat your whole cigarette?
I did.
Did you eat yours?
Well, I'm hoping someone saved me 2 for the green room.
We got a half a pack left from Ken Harris. He's Kevin Ricka.
I love it. And that old candy, it ain't all going back to Strachan's. I saw some Razzles in there. I know this, that every week, and we get stuff like this, and people that look, what a great community we got going on here. We all did this ourselves together. Everyone that's still listening and us, you
get it first, Kev. You get it first. You get it first. You get it first.
I'm
You get it
going
first.
up. I'm moving on up.
T,
Chris,
you get
I
a
love
second.
watching his motor, and he's going to get all the reps. And by the way,
I think he gets 2.
I think
Why
he
not?
gets 2 as well.
Sugar Sack Mac, he ain't moving much.
I
back
mean, there's
there.
2 other guys that are
If
gone
there's
that
one
usually get them,
quarterback,
so he's got
no
to,
doubt.
somebody's got to pick him up.
And this
Hey.
quarterback is not exactly the target that we've been trying to shoot for. It's like you've been hunting some.
Greg, you wanna bet on that?
animal that
Greg,
Mac
you wanna
Jones
bet on
is
that?
not.
Hunting's legal.
I get 2, you get 1.
Mac Jones gets
And you
rid of
give
it
me
quick.
the
but
benefit of the
there's
doubt.
going to be a couple times he gets stuck in no man's land.
I buy you breakfast stout, 4-pack. You buy me red breast. That certainly accounts for the odds of the bet. Indicate whether or not you're going to give me that bet. AGH is still awake, by the way. I mean, that's insane.
idea how.
It's like
You're the man, AGH.
it's like 3 days from now in Wales. By the way, Nasta.
Nasta.
Oh, I'm so sweaty.
Thank God it's Tuesday.
It's the bike shorts.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports and basements
Choking
everywhere,
my-
sweaty or
Choking
not.
my brain.
I'm Ken Marangolo, and we are still live. We're so still
Your
live.
midsection's dying right now.
Seriously.
Sending signals to your brain.
These bad boys haven't dealt with polyester since it's been like 35 years.
Oof.
I'm sure I had a JV pair of these somehow, some way, but the polyester just creeps up onto all the crevasse.
There's a lot of. There's not. It's
How do they
less
feel?
crevasse.
How do they feel?
They feel great, by the way. I know they do.
Not great. Not great at all. In fact, like
it's not like about everything in the
up
spot.
The front is
it's like church on Sundays. It's just like like
I'm gonna
sitting
need to
upright.
ask if you've got an anointment readily available because I'm getting a bit of a feeling that I haven't had in a while.
I'm gonna have to look through Ken Harris's bag of candy, and there might be like a caramel with a caramel cream situation going on.
No, there's not. I noticed that there wasn't.
There wasn't any caramel
But
cream.
if I'll just throw a couple razzles on it, it'll be fine.
I love double bubbles, and they're in this box. But I also know that I love them for 4.7 seconds, which makes them my teenage
You give that effing
record
box
holder.
to someone in 2,000 years, and they could still enjoy that double bubble the
Yes.
same way you would right this very moment.
Happy Muffaween. We're still live. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.